17s, the Five Stripes hold down that fourth place position, 3 points away from the playoff barrier. That's Jason Longshore. I'm Joe Fryhofer. 3-1 the final. The storyline has flipped as we now get ready for another one inside of Mercedes-Benz Wednesday against Colorado and head north to the Windy City Saturday against the Chicago Fire. Jason, it was a hailstorm of goals for the Charlotte side. Juanjo Purata stacks on, but it wouldn't be enough.
3 goals in Charlotte's first 3 shots, and you're running uphill at that point. Add in the red card to Andrew Gutman, and you're playing shorthanded. Atlanta does get one back late. It speaks to their set-piece prominence this year, with Juanjo Purata getting his first goal of the season. But Atlanta is among the leaders in Major League Soccer in goals from set pieces, especially from corners. With that red card to Gutman, we have some questions on Wednesday.
Because suddenly that left back position jumps into the spotlight. Not only missing Gutman, but also missing young Caleb Wiley with the Under-20 World Cup. That position, a big one now moving forward.
Yeah, this is why you have depth, and this is why Aiden McFadden has played as a left back quite a bit for Atlanta United too, and in preseason with the first team, and why the versatility of someone like Ronald Hernandez is very important. Typically a right back, and he's backed up Brooks Lennon this season. Brooks having one of the best seasons in Major League Soccer at the right back position. There haven't been many minutes for Ronald Hernandez. There might be some on Wednesday, moving across to the left back position, something that we've seen him do before with Atlanta United.
And the Five Stripes now moving across to the Western Conference. Colorado sitting at 10th, tied for the most draws across the entire league so far this season with 6. Very difficult to put away.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of Yorgos Giacomakis over these next 2 games, and how the minutes are divided up will be a challenge for Gonzalo Pineda and the coaching staff, because the presence that he brings is much needed with this team right now. And is he 180 minutes fit to play 2 games, Wednesday and Saturday? Probably not, just coming back from injury. But where those minutes are selected will be really interesting. And that's not just for Giacomakis, that's for a number of players. This is a tough part of the schedule with these midweek games popping up, and how you manage minutes to keep players fresh, but also to keep those intensity levels high. That's a challenge.
2 names to keep your eyes on from this Rapid side. The first one found himself on the score sheet, got it past Andre Blake, one of this league's finest goalkeepers. Connor Ronan
comes over from Wolves and wasn't one of the most heralded additions around Major League Soccer, but Connor Ronan has been that steady presence that the Rapids have needed. Jack Price has been injured most of the season. Ronan has really held things down in the midfield. Not flashy, not somebody who's going to get on the highlights quite often, but somebody who really makes this Rapids team tick. And you mentioned it, this is a team that's tough to beat. They were on a 9-game unbeaten streak in all competitions before the loss to Philadelphia. Now, a number of those were draws. This isn't a team that scores a lot of goals, but this is a team that is tough to get goals on.
Diego Rubio, another player. The 30-year-old, the Chileno, has 1 goal and 2 assists so far this season.
Rubio's a protagonist. He's a player who can get under your skin. He makes things happen. He's someone who has had some really good performances against Atlanta United in the past as well. Engine runs hot with Diego Rubio, sometimes maybe a little too hot, but he's a player that when he's on, he makes the Rapids dangerous in the attack.
And the Five Stripes keep their engine rolling as they then jump to the Windy City coming up on Saturday. We all remember how this one ended last time in Mercedes-Benz, especially Air Force One. They got the surprising victory. The Chicago Fire 1-0 over the weekend versus St. Louis, one of the hottest sides across this entire league in the way that they started their season. Xherdan Shaqiri found himself in team of the match day this week for MLS. Rafael Schijos, who ended up finding himself on the score sheet from a service from Xherdan Shaqiri at the back post last time out.
Schijos had just checked into the match as well. A little banged up coming into this one, didn't start. Carlos Terran injured, he had to come off. Schijos comes on, and it's a great finish from the center back. He's the leader for this team. I think when Schijos is playing well, Chicago looks a lot better. He's the emotional leader, he's the leader on the field, he's the organizer in the back, and there's a lot of young players around him. And this is a Chicago team that, look, is in flux right now. This is going to be the second manager for the Fire that we see this season. Frank Klopas, legend in Chicago soccer, has managed this team 2 previous times. He's taking over for the rest of the season, and maybe a little bit of that new manager bounce over the weekend with a win over St. Louis.
A new skipper into the mix, so the players then looking to see how their chemistry and dynamics will change up. Brian Gutierrez, another guy who's had a fair bit of protagonism so far in this season as well. 1 goal, 3 assists.
One of the most talented young players in Major League Soccer, and somebody that is so valuable to Chicago. They didn't release him for the US U20 World Cup team because he's needed for the Fire right now. He's their playmaker. Even with somebody like Shaqiri, I think that offense looks best when it's running through Gutierrez on a regular basis.
Keep your eyes on Chicago as well. They take on Charlotte, our previous foe, on that Wednesday game coming up before they face us back in their own house in Soldier Field. You can catch both of these games, Colorado as well as Chicago, through the MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. And Jason, we got to give a quick shout out. We won't have a unified match to run and cover afterwards. However, we saw 2 All-Stars get selected from our Atlanta United side. I got to talk with Liam and Nick afterwards, who will be both making the trip to Washington, D.C. on July 19th. That was a blast getting to call their match.
Yeah, such a fun time. Liam had a couple of opportunities. I thought he was going to open the scoring in this game with Charlotte. A really competitive, unified game. It was fun to see both teams giving it their all in a really close contest.
La Mejor will be your Spanish radio channel for that one, for both of those games as well, and 92.9 back inside of Mercedes-Benz once again. And then you guys hit the road north as well.
Yeah, 7 o'clock on Wednesday for the Five Stripes Countdown. Kickoff just a little after 7:30. Full 1 hour full-time report following that. And then push the clocks back an hour on Saturday night. We'll be on at 8 p.m. for the Five Stripes Countdown. Not a full hour of the full-time report because we'll have a plane to catch to get back to Atlanta.
That's Jason Longshore. I'm Joe Fryhofer. We're staying inside of the A this Wednesday against Colorado. Then we hit the road to the north. This has been your AT&T Countdown to Kickoff.